no quippy one line to start this one. I'm just genuinely so happy to see a group slug precon. This is an awesome deck, and honestly, I'd be pretty happy with it how it is. I'm already struggling to figure out how I can fit all these awesome new cards into my precious pet card or chaos group slug deck, let alone fit the cards I love from that into Endless Punishment. But that's why you clicked on this video. While it is an awesome deck, there's definitely room for improvements, and I've got 20 for you today. 10 budget cards, all under $5, and 10 not so budget, including my favorite card to add. Not all of these have made my final upgrade list for this deck, but they are all worth considering. My final deck list, everything that I've added, both packages, what I've cut, it's all down below in the description for you to check out, right next to that subscribe button. We'll kick things off with a card that I thought would have had a reprint in here. Rolling Vortex is a great way to get Valgavoth's ability going with a little ping each turn, plus the upside for hitting for 5 if someone dares try to cast anything for free. Looking at you, Amanatu, and one with the multiverse. Great reprint. Humble Defector is a nice, cheap, early creature to protect that beautiful demonic face, and some good card draw that this deck sorely needs. But most importantly, it is a great political tool that you can use to your advantage to keep people away from that aforementioned face. It's not a true group slug deck unless you punish people for just playing the basics of the game. Mana Barbs is going to hit every time someone dares tap for mana, and you need a lot of these little pings to win a game or pump up Valgavoth, but Mana Barbs will usually put the game on a pretty quick clock, as long as you can deal with the groans coming from your opponents. The last few cards I'm going to talk about in the budget section are a little expensive when it comes to mana, so we're going to add a few cards to help us out. Artist Talent is a card draw engine that helps us cycle away things we can't afford, into cost reduction so we can actually afford something, into extra damage from all these little pings. It's well costed, easy to get online, definitely worth the investment. And then Dark Ritual, because fast mana is only fair as long as there's just a little taste, right? Get Valgavoth or the Lord of Pain out early and really start the punishment. Pestilence is a nice way to guarantee a ping and a great mana sink to clear off the weaker creatures if you need to. It might disappear a little quickly depending on how much interaction and board wipes your group runs, but it can definitely do a lot of good work. As can Revenge of Ravens, just enough of a threat to discourage attacks against that beautiful demonic face. I will say it didn't make my final list, but it's definitely worthy of your consideration. Painful Quandary, no one wants to lose a card just for playing a card, so the 5 damage adds up really quick, but you would really hope so for 5 mana. And then we round things out with the old Havoc Festival and Wound Reflection 1-hit combo. It's 12 mana over 2 cards, so it's not that crazy, but I feel this deck really needed some big hitters to get the game ended. Little pings go a long way, but you get stopped by a little bit of life gain or outpaced by a big green stompy deck. And Wound Reflection just adds that extra spice onto everything, doubling all our pings, pushing the game clock ever forward. I'm counting it as budget because the cheapest printing is under $5 even if it's a Universes Beyond version. But Group Slug really lives in the expensive cards. You gotta sell your soul to deal the damage needed to eke out that win. It's Black Comander at its best, using all of that 40 life and your credit card. Now, this is where I get to explain why this video took so long to come out. It's like a month from Duskmourn pre-release now. I wanted this to be the first Duskmourn upgrade video, but 1, I typed Volrath instead of Valgavoth into my script, so the whole video was useless. I was tempted to just badly ADR it in, but 2, a bunch of the cards changed prices very quickly after release. Like Razorkin Needlehead. It's a distressing piece of art with an awesome ability, and a distressing price jumping up above $15 dues. But it's pinging people for drawing cards, which this deck loves to do, so gotta add it in. There is a lot of focus in this deck for damaging people for drawing cards, so you kinda have to consider Sheoldra the Apocalypse. It's very expensive, it's very powerful, and it is very good bait for removal. And she's not the only Phyrexian in here. Sulfur Mayhem Dominus is the first of the damage doublers we get to talk about, and the easiest to keep around with her land self-domini. I never quite understood in the story where these came from. Anyway, give it indestructible and you're well on your way to pinging people out. But if it does get removed, then a bit of backup helps. City on Fire is my favorite thanks to Convoke, but Fiery Emancipation does amazing work. Hopefully by the time these are hitting the table, you've got a good ping ping pew pew engine going, and anything you do is suddenly a very big threat. Or you could just sick the reliable beat face. Honestly, I'm in love with Valgavoth for having that option, and the card draw is just mwah. Zozu the Punisher goes hand in hand with Mana Barbs to really punish the table for daring to play a game of Magic, and is a great addition to go up against the jump scare landfall deck that I highly recommend you check out my upgrade video for. If we can get a few pings off early, then Bloodchief Ascension can help us round out games. Easy pings for discards, creatures dying, or just playing any instant or sorcery, and the little bit of life gain definitely helps keep us in the game longer. Or we can just spend that life on black market connections, extra mana, extra cards, extra blockers. This card is an all-star, and I struggle not to just slap it into every black deck I build, even if I dislike shapeshifters. No Mercy is going to help discourage beats to your face, and I much prefer it to Revenge of Ravens, but it is almost 24 times the price. It won't save you from an all-out attack, but it will help keep you in the game for long enough to scavenge a win. And finally, my number one pick for this deck is Descent into Avernus. Now, treasure tokens for everyone might seem a little close to group hug, but the damage from this adds up very quickly. And that's kind of the whole point of this deck. Damage everyone else more than they can damage you, and these treasures are just gonna help with that. This gets your best cards out sooner, plus it hits everyone for 12 damage by turn 6, so you should be pretty close to winning. So that's my upgrades for Endless Punishment. Group Slug is near and dear to my heart, so this just makes me positively giddy that Group Slug is hitting tables at LGSs all around the world. I'm picking up a few singles of this from my Group Slug deck, so if you want to see my new version of that, or this one, hit the table for a Comander gameplay stream, let us know in the comments down below. While you're there, in the description there is the upgrade list for this, my final deck list, everything I've cut, along with our other Duskmourn upgrade videos, so you can check those out. My name is Tom from Nerds of the West. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.